are still on your favorite Christian morning show. Baby, I do asem 𝗟𝗍 and I do so no. Baby, I can say asem 𝗟𝗍 and chere say asem BNC. My panelist is shaking his head because he thinks I'll be speaking truth through a kashegbe. I could feel what you are feeling. But don't worry, this is the program where we are able to manage about 4 of the languages throughout, and we are happy to do so. This morning we are discussing a very important situation in our country called Ghana, the perennial flooding situations in Ghana. And I want to read something shortly, and we can just continue. Just read something shortly. Nafi Yatwaso. Now, so in cities such as Accra, Kumasi, Sekondi, Takoradi, we know that drains are poorly constructed. Now, these drains and gutters are constructed and so skewed in that they are not large enough to ensure flow of water. Now, the result is that when the rains fall heavily, there is an overflow of water in areas that are considered to be dry. In other words, there are also houses, buildings, kiosks, and other structures that are put in the waterways. We want to ask, what causes these? Now, but remember, I also said that it is when the rain falls. How does the rain fall? And who are those who predict the falling of the rain, and what should be the caution to this effect? I have 2 very important guests on my show this morning, and on Zoom with me is a sister, 𝗟𝗓𝗓. She is the head of Central Analysis and Forecast at the office of the Ghana Meteorological Agency. My sister, Leke Afonama Wezon.
Me from you, me ha me from.
Me ha me from lo enwakalo.
Enwaka ma wa ma nfufu me number agbendi hanga brodemi.
Amen. I'm akpana mau. I also want to introduce right in the studio another brother, 𝗟𝗍𝗘 Ankra. He is the head of public relations or head of public affairs of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Simply put, AMA. Anyamitete. He was born on public affairs, public relations. How do you designate it?
Ni a government institution.
Okay.
Most of the time it is an affairs.
Okay. All right.
Most of the private I'm a use of relations
okay.
because of corporate social responsibility.
Okay. Wow, fantastic education. I never thought about it so.
Exactly.
Wow. Sure. I mean, that's my first lesson. So for all government institutions, it is affairs. And so our brother is the head of public affairs for AMA. Remember, I said we are discussing perennial flooding, and AMA will come in because Accra is the most hit. But before that, let's go to our sister 𝗟𝗓𝗓. 𝗟𝗓𝗓, how do the clouds form and how do you receive rains? Can you tell us the story?
Yes, thanks so much, and good morning to our dear viewers and listeners. Yes, we have something we call the water cycle. You have the rain coming in and then reaching the ground and then finding their way to the rivers, to the sea, to wherever. And then we have the sun also coming in to shine on it and then cause heating and then result into evaporation. So the water evaporates and then rises up into the atmosphere, condenses due to 1 or 2 weather conditions or factors, and then form clouds. As it forms clouds, it reaches its maturity, and then it comes back to us as rain. So that process go on for the time being. And then also we have the season, as we all know as Christians, that in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. He created day and night and every other stories that we all know. We also remembered the time of Noah, where God pre-informed us as humans that he is going to use flood to destroy the earth. and then gave a sign to Noah, where Noah has to construct a boat or an ark that from the destructions. And that trend also comes in where we have the seasons. So we have the wet and then we have the dry season. For us in Ghana, we have two distinct weather seasons, the dry season and the wet season, which we normally call the rainy season.
Okay.
Now, the rainy season over the entire country has also been divided into two. We have the southern sector experiencing two rainy seasons, the major and the minor.
Okay, Felicity, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, so you've gotten to a very important session that I am personally interested, and I know our viewers will be interested. We have often accused the GMET that there's so much English that sometimes we do not understand many of the things you are saying. So you are saying there are two seasons in Ghana. You've also said that the rainfall pattern in the northern part of Ghana is different from the rainfall pattern in the southern part of Ghana. Can you take your time and break it down to the level of a primary school person for us to understand?
Thank you. For the climate of Ghana, we have two distinct or two weather patterns that we know. One is the dry season that we all know, the Harmattan season, where we don't expect rain. We only expect that the winds will be dry and it's dusty, and the morning and in the evenings are always cool, and then the afternoons become a bit hot, and the visibilities are also affected.
Within which month? Which month do we have this?
In November.
Okay, right.
And then ends in somewhere in February the following year.
Okay.
Now, for the rainy season that I said affects the entire country, but it also comes in two sessions or two time frames. For those of us in the southern sector, that comprises of those in the eastern region, those of us in the Volta region, those of us in Greater Accra, Central region, Western North, Ashanti, and then part of the Bono areas. We have two rainy seasons. That has to do with the major season and then the minor season. The major season starts at times early part of March and runs all the way to July, where we have all the rains that we anticipated comes in. Then we give us a break by July, middle of July into ending into August, and then early part of September.
Okay.
That's the time that we also have something that we call it a little dry season. Is the dry season within the rainy season, the two rainy season that we have in southern Ghana. But this time around, it doesn't come with dryness, it doesn't come with dusty conditions, but rather it comes with cold, it comes with cloudiness, it comes with windy conditions because the winds that is dominating, that's around that time normally comes from the ocean. Then by September, middle of September into early part of November, we have the second rainy season for southern Ghana. So that is how it is for those of us over the south. But those of us over the north, that comprises of the northern region, the upper east, the upper west, northeast, Bono, Oti regions, Bono East, and then Ahafo areas, Savannah areas. They have only one major rainy season for the whole year, which normally starts in April, May, and runs all the way to October. Then they also exit from the rainy season. So for Ghana, two weather season is what we anticipated, but the rainy season comes in twofold. where one experiences it twice, but one experiences it just one time. I hope I'm able to explain it.
It's quite clear. Quite clear. Very clear. Devoid of the jargon, so Felicity will always put into. All right, but before I come to the emphasis on the season now, the month of May, which you have said the month after March into May and July. Before we come there, how are you people able to predict the pattern of the weather? Are you witches? Do you have any form of powers that helps you to predict? Because sometimes you tell us 2 o'clock the weather is going to change and it changes all of a sudden. Tomorrow expect this. Please take us into that. Let's see how you do it.
Yeah, thanks so much. We are not witches, and we are not on our own too. The Bible says that God gives gifts to everybody, and then the ability to be able to do what He wants you to do. As we have medical doctors, as we have pastors, even in the church, we have some that are in the fold of deaconess, some are in the fold of elders, ushers, and musicians. So it is when it comes to our professional life. God has gifted each and every one of us. So when you come to Ghana Meteorological Agency, we are scientists, but we normally deal with the atmosphere. Everything that has to concern the atmosphere, that is what we deal in. And you must have a science background. You must do science at your secondary school level. And then when you get to the university, we have a program that is purely for the meteorology. And then we have other branches that you need to do. We work with both observation and scientific methods. For the observations, we have our instruments installed in various parts within the country, where we have trained officers or trained staff that goes to pick the data, the temperature of the day, hourly, the wind speed and direction, the cloud type, the cloud amount, the total cloud cover, visibility. It gives us the dew point, the relative humidity, how dry the air is, and we have it scattered across the country. We have about 22 of them that measures all parameters that we need to do our forecast. Then we have others that has to do with rainfall or for agricultural purposes. So if you put all of them together, we are running into almost 600 weather stations across the country. Some are manned by humans, some are automatic. And that means that the artificial intelligence that we are all awakening to, this is what we have been using for more than 2-3 decades ago.
Wow.
So we now have these systems or these measurements or these figures are computed, coded in our language. We have a language that we transmit. So they transmit this data to us, we pick it, and then they send it into a database, a global database, and then where other countries around the globe also put their data in. Now we have people that are trained in script writing, in supercomputing applications. So they pick this data, run it, and then come out with the products that we need to use. Then we have it in a graphical form. So we now have the wind chart at various levels in the sky. We have the dew point chart. We have the convective available potential chart, where as a forecaster, you now pick this chart, analyze them. Now, when you are doing the pressure chart, where you have to draw the lines of equal values. So areas that will have the same pressure values, you draw the lines to join them. So you are just like doing the the visual arts sort of a work, those that do the road signs.
Yeah, so Felicity, this is where we get confused.
We also do. So you now join these equal values and then put interpretations into it. So we are interested in where pressures are low, where pressures are high. We are interested in where the winds are converging or they are coming together.
Yeah, Felicity.
Where the winds are moving. So if you get all these things on the chart as a forecaster, you now interpret it and then now come out with your forecast.
All right, thank you. Felicity, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
All right, sure. So I'm saying that this is where we get confused. You are the technocrats in that regard. So sometimes we advise you minimize some of the terminology so we can follow what you say, not only on this program, but you are doing well. You will be a very, very, very good teacher. But sometimes some of your analysis have not gone well. You tell us it will rain and it doesn't. Sometimes you tell us it is going to be very dry and humid and it also doesn't do that as well. But one of the things you have gotten very right is the prediction of the rains of this month of May and the ones preceding the month of May. How did you come about that? Then we can come to the studio. The rains are on now. How did you do the prediction and what was actually the prediction you predicted concerning the rains?
Yeah, thank you very much for this observation. But then I will say that because you've not been following us for some time now, you are right to say that at times we don't get it right. Yes, human as we are, yes, once in a while we may miss it. But
Felicity, let's have your video. Your video is off.
Now.
Your video is off. Can you tune on your camera, please? We can see.
Okay. Just a minute. I'm using my phone, that is why.
Okay, sure.
I think it's back now. Is it okay now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so if you follow our trend, then you can attest to it that yes, we have improved in terms of our accuracy, and we are scoring almost 95% in total for the year. So when we did the validation in 2022 and then last year we scored almost 86, and this year so far we are heading towards 95, but we still have almost 7 months to go, so we are trying to see how we can keep with that. Yes, we have charts that we use, and then you need to be accurate. So because of that, we need to look. If in the past we were looking at only maybe 2 weather charts, now we are looking at almost, if I'm not mistaken, in a day we look at about 50 to 100 model charts to come out with the forecast. So these are some of the things that we are putting in place. Another one that we are doing is that currently we are also trying to run our own model chart here in Ghana.
Okay.
So as we run, then we pick it and use it, and then it's also helping us to improve upon our forecast accuracy.
All right.
And then we now have a lot of human resources. The government has helped us to employ more. And then so we have quite a handful, though it's not enough, but it's better than before. Before you have only one forecaster on duty doing multiple tasks at a go. But now we have about 3 forecasters in a shift, which is also helping. So we are praying that in the near future we will be able to
change. Fantastic.
100%.
Fantastic.
But as I said, we keep monitoring. We run it 24/7. So as some are asleep, some are
also awake, looking at it.
Make sure that everything is in place.
So in the month of March and May, your prediction was on point. You told us we should expect the rains, and the rains are here with us. Just in a nutshell, what did you tell us?
Come again.
So I'm saying that in the month of March and May, you predicted the rains, and the rains are here with us.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear the latter part of.
Yeah. So I'm saying that in the month of March, you predicted.
Yes.
You predicted the rains. April came. The month of May is here, and the rains are with us. Now we are with the rains now. I was asking, what did you actually put across in terms of our preparation for the rains?
Okay, if I get you right, it's our duty to have been mandated to be informing the public about the changes in the weather pattern.
Okay.
On a monthly basis, we are doing on a seasonal basis. So for the month, we started last year where we came out with the weather advisory for the Harmattan. And then this year we came out with the outlook for temperatures as we are anticipating that January, February, March, and then April, we expect it to be hot. Temperatures will be high, a bit scorchy. And then we also informed that there will be 1 or 2 rainstorms that will come with strong winds. Then March, we also came up with the seasonal forecast. That is from March, April, May, which we call MAM, where we said that some areas the rains will start early, some areas the rain will start late, and then we come out with that. So as I said earlier on, that are working. So
all
as
right.
we are talking, we have a unit that are in charge of the seasonal forecast. So currently they are running the seasonal forecast for the north. And then another group is also rerunning the seasonal forecast for the southern sector to see how June, July, August will be. July, August, September will be. So we'll look at it, and then if there will be deviations, we will come out again and inform the general public. So this is where I have a little bit of a concern, where some of us, the media houses, we wait until something happens before we reach out to 𝗟𝗏 and ask questions. But it will also be good that if you can use your platform every morning or every evening and have access to our forecast and relay it onto your audience, it will also help us so that as we are all here working, the forecast will also be going to the Ghanaians so that they will also put it to use.
All right. Thank you so much. Sister Felicity Anna Yeneno Kasano Chirechiremu Opoto Bebrina Memo Modin se beye mritia we mu minchirechiremu kakra. De ye kan se ensuo no aba ne nsuo no eba pa ofa eyenkran ha Kumase na uko sekeni ye kura kese akese enum no de bia afi bia nsuo ne ba na abese nneom na ochirechiremu se ewo Ghana ha de se eye dwumaku e from 𝗟𝗏 wo mu mfidi asese wo mutimi ede ye dwuma ba first no na enipa ketua bi na akwakosun ade na mfidi ni so ana wo de ye dwuma so na enhye da nim se de wo mo ya ade am wo munyaka se nsuo beto a nsuo beto na ochiremu se eye Ghana ha no ye wo ye de obroni beka ne season no mienu ti wiemu sakraye no eye mienu na ne mienu no de wo de ye esutobre ana afa ye wo de wo pebre na de wo eye anafo Ghana anafo ha no eye de wodi free eye from mantemu ede kwapie atoye ede bankran ha ede bi akwa ni mfimfin mantam no yen de ne wo eye anafo anafe okwa tifido so a wodi fa eye Ashanti region kwa no omososo mo ho no pa che se de ekoso wase ha na nya saa so na ekoso na mum de egina pi ene ne se wo ye dan ensuo beto ana afi wo ye den so pebre ba so pebre ne de ehya se afie November bosome no mu a e de go si February na mum yi sa bosome yi nyina afiri wa na afi osutobre na hyase enjo hwe March ekọ akokosi eye July na mu asan sesa eno na ye ensubrane no na efi July na ekọ ne de enso no betoto intermittently de na enumumu no enye de mu ye duru emu ye den se de ewo eye fiti March kukosi eye July bosomi enti na me born tofa no sa na me born odi wie no oka se eye anansem twerofo ene eye TV fo ni radio fo ni ana ye twen asem kosi ye hu se ensuo fo obi fridge ensuo fo obi TV ansa na ye de camera be kwa akotwa no se ensuo fa no na emum ya ye nta ma omho abra no me ni nkomo. I think that is what the WTV has done, and we have gone ahead of everybody to discuss this matters. But the rent are with us in Accra. Wash again, Agbene. Chen. Wash again. We want to see what AMA is doing. So, from what our sister has been saying, the rent will always come. But it appears that sometimes Accra is not ready for the rents. Is AMA ready for the rents? Ata?
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Let me state briefly that if you look at, as she has said, the rain pattern, currently the volumes that are coming in are not the ones we used to experience.
Okay.
They are quite heavy and they are increasing. And you would ask, Miniho, we are having such an increase.
Okay. Yeah.
So I want us to begin the discussions with issues of climate change.
Okay.
Okay, very, very real. We all have a part to play to ensure that we mitigate effects of climate change. We put in efforts to ensure action.
Okay.
To get
climate change, I want you to be able to explain to us, to the ordinary person, what is climate change?
When we talk about climate change, it basically has to do with a change in weather patterns.
Okay.
Currently, we expect that the rains will fall within certain periods, but as we know in Accra, there are times when it comes, we weren't even expecting it.
Yeah.
If we also look at the current weather pattern, it's very hot. Well, when it's not raining and the sun is scorching, it is very, very hot. It's a sign of a change in the weather patterns, a change in the climate. And that is all what we all must be conscious of. So we put in measures to ensure that in our various respective homes, we are able to mitigate the effects of the climate change.
Climate change,
exactly. We also play an important
We humans are part of.
We humans, we are part of it.
Yeah.
Ecology urbanization.
Okay.
In the city of Accra now. And that is why government and the assembly, if we look at our climate action plan, we've set up an agenda to ensure that within the city center, we put up over 100,000 trees. And why are we doing this? It will help in ensuring that there is some form of green environment. And all these things, they help. If you look at our building regulations now, we are encouraging people that when you build, don't pave the entire area.
Okay.
Do some greening somewhere.
In your house.
In your house. And all these things helps in ensuring that we mitigate the effect of the climate change we are experiencing.
Okay.
With respect to whether the assembly is prepared, of course, we are diligently preparing, and we'll be preparing towards the rain, not now. We do that before, during, and even after the rains itself to ensure that we mitigate effects of flooding in the system. What are we doing as an assembly to ensure that we get some of these flooding issues away of the system? Dredging of our various waterways, our various lagoons, very, very important. With support from the ministry here, the Odoro River, the 𝗟𝗡 is constantly being dredged.
Okay.
If you look at what the assembly is doing with respect to various drains within our system, last 2 weeks, for instance, the mayor of the city of Accra, first female mayor.
Well, no, we are right in the Odor right now, and the dredge. You could see this is a little bit of clean water because there is some dredging that has gone on. Yeah, so this is the Odor flowing. But I'll be asking you, sometimes we who are citizens think that AMA has never been prepared. I mean, today we are referring to AMA, but by extension, we are referring to all the other metros and MMD. Now, what we always assume is that you are not prepared. You just spoke about permit. You clearly will see somebody building and the person has written stop by AMA, and the person finishes it all in the waterways. How prepared are we with this regard?
Very, very prepared. Currently, if you are looking at the AMA's jurisdiction, we are looking at areas such as 𝗟𝗡𝗘.
Yeah.
And when we talk about 𝗟𝗡𝗘,
Yeah, so we can mention some of the suburbs within 𝗟𝗡𝗘.
That's the main central business district.
Central Accra.
The main central Accra.
Okay.
Jamestown and communities within 𝗟𝗡𝗡 and all that. They form 𝗟𝗡𝗘.
Okay.
Now we're looking at 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗃 South. Now 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗃 South starts from, we have Korle Bu, Korle-Gonno, Mamplobi, parts of Kamara, parts of Banana Inn. That is
Dansoman doesn't come into.
Dansoman falls under 𝗟𝗡𝗡 West Municipal Assembly. Now, when you heading towards the north, we are looking at Quarcoo South, and we are looking at industrial area, Bubuashin, Accra Academy, parts of Aveno.
Okay.
So, when you are looking at the current AMA's jurisdiction, this is the area of the AMA. Now, and I can state on authority that within the AMA zone, you will not find anybody building on waterways.
Wow. Our cameras will go and bring the evidence to our viewers.
I know what I'm saying. Within the AMA zone, within these zones that I have spelled out, you will not find, because the mayor herself constantly moves out with the team
and inspects
development in the city. No, there is no way any development will come up and she is not aware. Currently, as I speak to you, the permitting process is not cumbersome.
Okay.
So we're encouraging people to come in and then seek for permits in whatever development they want to do. Even if you want to rehabilitate your old building or whatever you want to do, even if you want to demolish. So there is some form of regulations.
Okay. Are you therefore saying even for rehabilitation or a demolition you need a permit?
Of course.
Well, these are things we didn't know.
Of course.
So I can't break my wall if I want to break.
You cannot just go ahead and then demolish.
Okay.
You need to come to the assembly for permitting. And currently with the kind of regime, people are encouraged to do that. And within our zone, as I said, issues of people building on waterways, it blocking the flow of water, it's not happening. Most of the time what you will see is where you have people putting their containers or kiosks on small drainage,
which is also a problem.
Let me. Yes, I'll address that one.
Please.
And that is a problem.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been saying, that for 2 weeks ago, if you look at what we did around the Slaga area, the Slaga market area, if you look at what we did, dredging and the silting of the drains within the 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗃 area, we were able to clear the entire drain. And the pictures are there for everybody to see. If you go to the AMA's social media handles at Accra Metropolis.
Producer, I can get us some of this evidence. It's very important because for a long time we are accusing AMA. And see, one of them is HAPS, and the sad moments for you, I believe, will be that everybody still think AMA is the AMA of old. So that if you are talking about even towns beyond Dansoman, even sometimes in the Medina area, we still think it is AMA. Sometimes we also think you lack the power to bite and to enforce your own bylaws.
I beg to differ.
All right.
Let me briefly add that if you look at, as I said earlier on, what we are doing to ensure that issues of flooding is or becomes a thing of the past, or we even mitigate it. For us as an assembly, education is also important. And that is why this morning
you are here.
We are here as an assembly because you are doing something right. And we want the people to also understand that they have a responsibility to play when it comes to preventing flooding. And why am I saying this? If you look at the desilting works we've done over the past weeks, it will interest you to note that in the drains, there are no silts.
Wow.
They are plastics. And you can get your producer to look at what is happening. What we did.
All right. So these are some of the pictures. Some of the pictures.
So this is the mayor of the city of Accra.
All right. That is
currently at the Slaha market area, interacting with the traders there. After the desilting works, to let them to appreciate the impact of the work, and it will you would hear what they were saying, appreciating the kind of work the assembly has done over the period to ensure that we desilt these grains, even at the Agbogboshi market. And that's the mayor, the first female mayor in your shot, together with the coordinating director, the 𝗟𝗜�10𝗘 submitting director. You also have the assemblyman there. So things are done to ensure that collectively we put in measures to deal with the issues of. When you take your cameras out there, you will see what is happening.
And if our cameras are not there,
if your cameras are not there, the assembly is consistently educating people. And this is some. We have the mayor moving into the community herself to interact with the people, to know their challenges when it comes to even flooding, to appreciate the issues. We've gone there to do massive desilting. And if you listen to the assemblyman, there are some of the areas, the way the place has been choked. And this desilting is done periodically. And that is why I want us to hit on the angle.
Yes. So there is clearly a certain human misconduct.
That is the issue. And if as an assembly or as a city authority, and let me state that there is close collaboration between the AMA and other sister assemblies to ensure that
work is done. We want to shortly show a clip, and I will ask, okay, so these are pictures for now. Where are you able to identify where this is? Are you able to? Yeah, right.
Yes, this is a support the assembly gave to the youth of Jamestown, and the chief of the youth of Jamestown every 2 weeks comes out to support, gather the youth to do some cleanup exercise. And the assembly has been supporting this very laudable activity over the years. And this is a track we put in,
provided by the assembly.
We provide tracks, we provide logistics to support the cleaning. And that is why as an assembly we keep on saying that as residents we have a responsibility to play. Because the waste we generate now is so much to the extent that disposing it off. Don't forget, currently as we speak, there is the polluter pay system. So you pay for the waste you generate.
Yes.
And so if you generate a lot of waste, then you pay more. You pay more. That is why we are constantly hammering on the point that people need to practice what we call the 3 R's of waste management: recycling, reduction of waste, and then ensuring that the waste that we have, we reuse it. So for instance, if I buy a bottle of water, that particular plastic bottle, I can use that bottle for something else than deciding to even go and dump it. Currently, as I speak to you, the assembly is working closely with some communities to put in, because we've realized that waste management plays an important role when it comes to issues of flooding in the city center. Segregation of waste is very, very important.
Something you don't teach us.
Segregation of waste is very, very important. And when you talk about teaching, that is why the assembly has begun this very program with kids from basic schools. We began this some years ago. It was very successful. So all basic schools in the city center, we piloted with segregation programs. Currently, as I speak to you now, there is a partnership with the city of Paris, and we're working with the University of Education, Winneba, to get some segregation of waste in the communities. And it's happening in the communities now, because that will go a long way to help in the recycling business. We would change the face of people dumping into drains and people dumping indiscriminately. So that is a major factor we need to appreciate as a people, that we have a role to play to ensure that we mitigate the effects of climate change.
So before I open my phone lines, I want you to clear that. So every year AMA assures us everything will be fine. but each and every year we appear to be in trouble. Will you only attribute these perennial flooding to only the human effort?
Of course not. Not only the human efforts. As an assembly, we also have a responsibility to play. And let me quickly push in the angle of widening the drains that we currently have so that it will be able to accommodate the rains or the water that is coming in due to the volumes. So if you look at what was done at the Accra Academy area through the 𝗟𝗡𝗙 project, the drains were widened enough.
Yeah.
So it's able to accommodate. If you look at the 𝗟𝗡𝗙𝗘 interchange currently being constructed, that entire area, the drains have been re-engineered to the extent that when that project is done, issues of flooding within that entire enclave will be a thing of the past.
Wow.
But then we have a responsibility to play as citizens. If government moves in, if the assembly moves in to do this dredging, to do this desilting, and constantly we keep on dumping indiscriminately, we keep on putting our waste in the drains, what would happen? It would choke them. And can you imagine, for 𝗟𝗡𝗙𝗘, for instance, what we did at 𝗟𝗡𝗙 in the past weeks? If this has been left for years or months, you can imagine what would happen. So, as I said, we also have a responsibility to ensure that in as much as people are not doing what they are supposed to do right, we go in and do the
So
desilting.
for years there has been the discussion of the 𝗏𝗏𝗏 project expanding the drainage so that we won't have this whole choking of the drainage because of the excess pollution from the other side of the humans. Is there any forward movement to this?
Yes, that's why I said the 𝗟𝗡𝗙 project is in to deal with these things, and it has already begun. If you look at the 𝗟𝗡𝗙 project, it's also even ensuring that within the various municipal assemblies, there is some form of desilting works, desilting of the drains.
Is it another company that has been employed?
No, it's another program.
Oh, it's another project continuing the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Yes, it's another project.
All right.
Also dealing with issues of widening, reconstruction of the drains, widening the drains to accommodate more of the water, desilting and dredging of the various waterways that we have in the city.
Well, we are wondering for how long AMA is going to wait. I mean, you are doing a lot, but you see, to he who much is given, much is expected as well. I mean, when there are floods and people are flying in the water, we will still hold AMA responsible for this. I want to open my phone lines, but when we come back, the duty is now to be able to advise and put some educational measures around so that people who do this will know, especially on the fact that if you do this, abanya mobu. This and that is what happens. But let me open the phone line 02562534610 053-835-0625. The phone lines are open, dear friends. We are discussing the perennial flooding challenges we have in Accra. For now, it's Accra in focus. But oh, Shefi baby, I can who say in Quarcoo and Gilbert said that where people are populating, maybe any panel doors, it appears that flooding is enhanced. We all want to be careful. Phone lines are open, so you can open the phone lines are open. Felicity is still on the lines with that, so before we continue in the studio, Felicity, you have heard Gilbert with all this. Yours is to help us through your predictions. Do you also think that human beings are in the center of these perennial flooding?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, even at the international level, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, it has been identified, it has been found out that the climate change or climate variability scenarios that we find ourselves in, the major cause is humans, is we ourselves. So for Ghana, the flooding situations that we are seeing currently, most part of them, or the greater part of it, is caused by us as My other person talks about it, intentionally building on the waterways because we need a shelter over our heads. So we don't care. Once it is something that will solve our needs at that moment, we don't bother our heads about it. And some of us, to dispose of our rubbish, is also another headache, where instead of us paying something small to the appropriate authorities that will come and take it out and then dispose on our behalf, we choose to do it on our own. And then anytime it starts raining, then you see people tossing this rubbish into the gutters, and at the end of the day, it goes to choke and then prevent the water from coming. And water, as we know, you can never block it. It will, and it will stand and watch you. It will also try its best to fight back, and every time we are getting all these things. And then most of us too, we have a built environment. Most of our compounds that we see, if we've not tiled it, then it's we put concrete on it. And I think we need to start thinking about how we handle our compounds, especially if you can do it, leave a portion for grasses and other things, so that when the rain comes, it can percolate or it can sink into the soil and then find its way into the underground water.
All right, thank you very much. I have a caller on the line. Fireman.
Yeah, so thank you. No, my papa, or your boy, make a man, get the young, make the boy like a good to not like Yama, and not a Yama, yes, for Yama. In Sona, and send your money to bring now, 5 years before, I would just can't be there. I don't know what you guys.
All right, yes, so this is now the point that I was dodging from, and a caller has come in. I think now we need a real education on this misconception, because I think it's a misconception. I don't think that AMA in its rightful senses will collect money from anybody to put a kiosk on the waterway. But can't be an educate, as people think AMA is collecting illegal monies and allowing people to indiscriminately put kiosks and buildings around. Please educate us.
Of course not, I beg to differ.
Yeah.
AMA would not put in a problem which will compound the already existing.
Who gave the permission?
Thank you.
Yes.
Most of the time, some of these things that you see,
yes,
somebody has an apartment and they feel that in front of their house is their responsibility. If you look at the AMA sanitation bylaws, it's very clear that even the drains apart your house, you are responsible to desilt and clean that particular drain. So people feel that when there is some pavement in front of their buildings, they have the responsibility to do whatever they want to do with respect to putting up kiosks there to work. But let me state that anywhere the assembly has gone to do the silting work, where we have people placing kiosks on drains, all those kiosks are removed.
Okay.
They are not left there.
So it's not the AMA collecting money from anybody?
Of course not. And let me state here that if the AMA or any official of AMA has taken any money from anybody to put up anything somewhere, that person should own up.
Okay.
Come in and report officially, and that worker will be dealt with.
All right.
Because the AMA does not do that. And when he says it's the fault of the AMA, the flooding issue, the AMA, that's why I said we have a responsibility, and they also have a responsibility. So I would expect him, wherever he finds himself, to also support us with respect to the education, and let people understand that if you don't dump indiscriminately, recently, just I think last week, on one of the media houses, we saw a video of a gentleman in a yellow raincoat within the Tesano area during the rains, dumping refuse in the drains, actually from a 240-liter bin.
That is serious.
That is very, and this is what we are talking about. If this journalist had not been around that particular moment to take a video of what was happening, how would we have known?
But has the person been apprehended?
It is within another jurisdiction. So measures have been put in place to ensure that that person will be apprehended and dealt with. And we've dealt with some of these things. If you remember, some years back, we've had some women dumping into refuse, and the AMA quickly, in as much as it doesn't fall within our zone, we quickly had to initiate and taking steps to ensure that the assembly involved public health officers moving. And that comes, that takes me to my next point. On issues of enforcement.
Yes.
If you have not been caught and you are freely doing whatever you are doing in the dark, you will feel the law is not working. But let me tell you that the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, thankfully, we now have a sanitation court of ours.
Oh, Saman is back.
It's back. Okay. It has been there, and we've been, last year, for instance, over 500 persons were prosecuted for various sanitation offenses.
Some of this we do not know. If you give us the data, we'll publish it for people to see.
Every Wednesday, the assembly moves out with the media to visit communities to ensure that public health or the bylaws are enforced. And this, it cuts across.
Yeah.
I want to state that we have a responsibility to play as citizens. And that is the most important thing. So this time around, don't think that the sanitation court is somewhere in another jurisdiction and you will go scot-free. We have a sanitation court right in our building.
The premises of the
AME. And very soon, the mayor, the first female mayor, is going to commission that particular sanitation court, and prosecutions will go on. So I want to let people understand that they have a responsibility to play as citizens. If the drains are choked, as an assembly, it is our responsibility to come in and then desilt those drains. Let me also state that in the bylaws, as I said, the sanitation bylaws very, very clear. Drains are back to your premise. You have it is your responsibility to ensure that those drains within your entire building is cleared. So people must support whatever the assembly is doing, complement our effort, take up their responsibility as well. And together, I can tell you that if we are all doing what we are supposed to do, we can have a city where we can all live in and love it. And Accra, devoid of filth.
Well, thank you very much. Viewers, we are looking at perennial flooding in Ghana, and all of us are part of this. Felicity has said it, and Gilbert in the studio has also said it. At the center of these flooding mishaps is a certain person called the human being. Obi osoriano akoto ball ensu a etinimu obi a wonom pure water no wode ato form emfa ne ho sebe otimi koto ejana egu ensu a etim afeele nakan bola na afio onye odomonunu hu no ochi ohwemi ake afeele nakake amoboe mlake ubaye. And that's what we are saying now. But to you, our viewers, we want you to call in and suggest ways and means through which we can curb this. Obi has me and na fireman over here me yes obi I appointed in inside. Yesterday I was preaching, I was telling people that within the family sometimes the wife think is a problem of the husband think is a problem of the wife, children think is mommy and daddy, and all of us are pointing accusing fingers at somebody. Can we come together? And so the team for yesterday was that all may be one. Can we come together as one people, one destiny, one common country, and fight this perennial flooding challenge. So it doesn't become a lip service. Hey, ebo, na fine, ebo, na call in and suggest ways and means you think we can mitigate it. Let's go to Felicity and ask of her advice to this. Felicity, you want to advise all of us as a Met agent, what should we do from now? We are in May. The rains will keep coming. What should we do till July? Please give us some advice.
Yeah, thank you. For us, one key thing that we will want you to do for us as a media house is that every morning, if you can get the forecast to your viewership, it will help us.
All right.
So that you give them constant weather updates. We are doing 3 times a day. We are doing the morning, the afternoon, and the evening. So if you're able to pick any of them for your viewers, I think it will help us. The second one is to us as Ghanaians. We are in the rainy season. There are times that the rain will come with strong winds, with thunder and lightning. So anytime we issue them, we said there is some chances of rain and thunder in your locality, please take precaution. And then anytime you want to go out to any place or you want to travel to any part of the country, please have access to our weather forecast. We have a WhatsApp platform. We have it on our website. We have it on X or Twitter. We have it on Instagram and YouTube. So every day we keep updating. If you want to join us onto our WhatsApp platform, I will put the number across.
Yes. So
that you just send us a hi and request it, then we will add you to our WhatsApp platforms that we have. The number is 055 353 8292. I'll mention it again. I will have 0553 53 8292. This is the number that comes to the weather forecast office direct. So just send us a WhatsApp, say hi, I want you to add me to the WhatsApp platform, and we will gladly add you so that you can have all the forecasts that we have been producing. Today, Monday, we'll be coming up with the weekly outlook, where from today, this evening, up to Sunday, the days that the rain will come, the areas that the rain will be affected, and then the impact will come out with it. So you can also have access and plan your activities. Now, as citizens, we know where we are. If the place is a flood-prone area or it's a waterlogged area, this is the time that we should start creating the pathway for the runoff waters, because we are zooming into the peak of the rainy season over the southern sector. The ground is getting saturated. So very soon we may be getting flash floods here and there in the capital, in the other parts of the southern sector, those in Ashanti region, those in western region, part of Volta and eastern region are all also likely to get it. And if the rains that may come, the subsequent one, the volume, the intensity will be great, then we should be pretty sure that we'll have an issue to deal with the flooding situations. And I'm glad that we have an AMA in the studio. I'm appealing that I don't know if they are in charge of the road networks that we have within the capital. A lot of them are full of potholes, and if it rains and water collects on them, it's difficult for a motorist to identify that there is a pothole, and that can result into a fatal accident. So we are pleading that if this time they can use it to seal up the potholes that we have on most of our major road networks, so that when the rain comes, there should not be any accidents that will be related to the weather disasters that will be recorded.
All right. So thank you for that one. Felicity, don't go yet. We will be climaxing very soon, but Gilbert has, I won't say a rebuttal, but a follow-up. So you were saying something.
I was trying to tell Felicity to also, anytime they get such opportunity to speak in the media, they should also support whatever the AMA is doing and let residents or citizens understand that they also have a responsibility to play. Because in as much as the rains are coming, if they don't also do their things well and continue dumping into the drains, we would continue having the flooding situation. So they should also support and re-echo that bit for us.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. But you have the last.
Yes, we will definitely do that. I think we wish after the show we'll definitely have to share contact, and then because we are coming up with a program. We wanted to start last month, but then I don't know, maybe this is the right time for us. So we'll meet and then we'll see how best we can do it, because we want to do some outreach program to educate the general public on what the do's and the don'ts during the rainy season. So I think we would have to partner with AMA and be able to.
Okay, so at least it's good Ni came out with that follow-up, which has reminded you that you needed to go out with your partnership. So it's all good. So Ni, you have the all right. Ni, you have the microphone now. Your last
Actually, it's on our list.
It's on the list. Okay. All right. Thank you.
We're planning to come, but it's good you have a focal person.
Very much. Well, yes. He is head of public relations. Yes. Public affairs. Yes. All right, Ni. So you have the microphone now. Wonga. What is it we must know about AMA? Tell us, please.
Noni, maybe briefly.
Okay.
About Noni Warrior with respect to the flooding issue, and what as residents we are also expected to do. I say assembly.
Okay.
We must also support whatever the AMA is doing. If you look at research over the years, issues of flooding in the city, in as much as other contributing factors accounts for, human activities play a major role. It plays a major role. And I've been out there with the mayor on so countless occasions, a lot of the communities, and you will see it very clear that in the drains, we have filth in the drains, we have plastics in the drains, we have litters in the drains, and we keep on saying that every litter in the drain represents a human being.
Okay.
Every litter you find in the drain,
it represents
a human being. So we have a responsibility to play. Do we want to continue wallowing in the drains as humans? The waste we generate must be binned. If you look at all the communities, the assembly has put in place measures to ensure that we have waste management companies coming in to collect the waste. Areas where these waste management companies are not even able to get in, the assembly has integrated the baller taxi system, the informal waste collectors, into the main waste management chain. So recently, through support of the mayor, we were able to help them to form cooperatives. So the assembly is looking at giving them some concessions, some areas to go and then do their work. The assembly has also supported them with health insurance schemes.
We have a caller on the line from Agbogba. Charlotte, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. You're on air. We had some challenges with the phone, but
okay.
You are the one breaking through. So we are here. We are listening.
Yo, so thank you so much for the good job we are doing for our nation, Ghana.
Amen.
But I'm also thinking that these skeletons we use to wrap food carts and all that should be banned. Because if you look around, that is the common thing we see as rabbits. That is like
That is why you must reduce the waste. So if you are going out to buy something, take your own bag.
Yeah. Okay. Let's finish with Charlotte then. Charlotte, are you done?
Yeah.
Charlotte, where we? All right. We lost Charlotte, but so what Charlotte is saying has been the concern of every. Yes, you think we should reduce the waste, isn't it? But we also say, why don't we ban the plastic totally?
You see, let me state that it is also an economy, and it is generating jobs for people. So, in as much as it is, no, he woni you ake war. We no na sani wani wo fe ni egbe wo. No we are advocating akesi reduce the waste you generate. No okedi lebinentation ni ya ekoko e. Nkende nyuma e ake koko che ha mi koko. Ne ke rubber white ni. Ne sai ke rubber black ni. Ni kosi alobo flote ke rubber black mi. Ne ke white ni ha mi ke gbe na ne ke fe awo another rubber mi. Ke ba shi ani ba nu.
Rubber 5.
Ene me fe mini ba tun. Sika mi ya ni bi den ten hiem bottle ko. Ni e ke wo mi ha mi e ke mba in your ball ko ni ma dispose le off. That be reduce.
Okay.
No manye ke oya no oya ni ye mami but then take him more bag coke bag get all over the world. If you go and you want to buy the plastic say over here a bellet
yes
over here
you buy the plastic
yes. Obanya or reuse it.
Yeah.
People should understand that the 3 hours of waste management is the way to go, and they should support the assembly in ensuring that people would understand that waste there no generator or as no reduce le. We wo ke wo fe no ko ni okay waste pimba cheno agbenenwe waste no your obanyo recyclable then to always. Currently the assembly is patching Accra Technical University.
Okay.
We are looking at coming up with a composter. So there is a contest where we have the students trying to come up with a composter. It will support in the waste management in the various communities. Your composting, because if you look at the composition of waste in the system, the compost there, if plastic say, well, we are looking at doing that. Segregation is very important. Together, people should support us, whatever programs the assembly is putting in place, desist from dumping their refuse into drains indiscriminately, and then support us. And together, I can assure you that we have a city where we can all live in and love it.
Fantastic. So we want to thank our 2 panelists, one in the studio and one on Zoom. We have been discussing the perennial flooding challenges, flooding crisis in Ghana. Ya twensuba na abikunye obame no ebane beba gbewo ebi susu a na ni fridge enam wiem car nam wiem etowo o yabre. But today AMA has been with us and is telling us, yes, we have a share in the responsibility, but you the humans, Mambi, you also have a bigger share, maybe in a proportion of 80 to 20, but whatever it is, they are calling on all of us to make sure that we reduce the generation of the waste. And so in the studios has been Brother 𝗟𝗡𝗘. He is head of public affairs for Accra Metropolitan Assembly, AMA for short. And from the Zoom, we have had our sister 𝗟𝗡𝗘, who is also with the Met Agency. Specifically, she is the head of Central Analysis and Forecast. Brofu bebre na okachire ye gaka sister me da akpe now me shi akpe rotwala now but eva fiami agba. God bless you for being with us.
God bless you too. And keep up the good work you are doing.
Thank you. And so Nitu, you are here with me. Thank you, Anyami.
Thank you.
On Dashiwa.
Thank you for
we'll talk behind the scene.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And to you, our viewers, we are not leaving you yet. Yeah, Baba Jim Renaya Pon now is coming with what do you know as usual. But this afternoon, we are going to expand the discussion on the perennial flooding challenges. Specifically, we are looking at the perennial flooding crisis, assessing the state's preparedness in the year 2024. And as usual, we are having our brother 𝗦𝗏𝗏 who will anchor the show. And our guest, 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗘 is here with us, 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗏𝗏 will be here with us, and Justice Alo will be here with us. Great and fantastic panel, and they are going to discuss further and much detail the perennial challenges. You don't want to miss this afternoon show called The Host. But on here on Sorena Shen, now is going to give to you what's up on social media. Please stick and stay.
Thank you.
Come on! Happy hands, everybody! Hey! Ah! Oh, Chiwanuma! Abosaya Kabomo. Hey, Bosaya Kabomo. Yakabomo Tibo. Yakabomo Tibo. Hey, Bosaya Kabomo.
She abonsan je gbomojile eduru bebi so onipa timi ye abonsan so count but said ye tie bi obonsan ma han ye be boni dua e wo Yesu die be boni dua. Amen. All right, so let's go straight away to what's up on social media.
So what's up on social media, but also before that, yesterday I personally wished your wife happy happy Mother's Day. Nan nearly forgot.
Oh, Nadia said me name.
Nan nearly forgot. So I am the only person
All right, thank you for wishing my wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
So quickly,
I wished her in the bedroom, so I didn't see the need to wish her outside. And also, so Prince no more
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So let's quickly go to social media. Let's find out what is trending on X. And so we have Kaswa trending with 2009 post. We have hashtag #ekufuado_legacy trending. We have golden stool trending. Trending in Ghana again is Volta region. Trending in Ghana lyrical Joe. Trending again is hashtag Baumia 2024. And trending in Ghana Rolls Royce. In fact, I don't know why Rolls Royce is trending. Anyway, so these are the trends on X for you. Quickly, let's take a look at some posts and what people are saying about it. So this is a post by Gospel GH, and it says, for clarity's sake, Saul did not become Paul. Saul is Hebrew and Paul is Greek. Yeah, so wait, yeah, software lane, me man quote Trinity.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Very, very correct. We have always corrected people.
Okay.
Paul, when we saw a mama Paul, it's never true.
Okay.
So Paul is the rendition of the Greek name Saul.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a good one. It's a good one. We are using this medium to educate everybody.
Yeah.
That line of preaching is totally wrong. Okay. It is biblical. It's extra biblical. Say Paul or Sacra or Saul Sacra or Paul. It's not true.
Okay.
We are just saying Paul is the Greek version of the name Saul in Hebrew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, that will go Trinity. All right, let's
so
see.
Here are some comments. Eradokwa says, so what about the Saul who became Paul? And Owusu Buachi says, it means God through the power of the Holy Spirit made Paul a learned person in Christ Jesus. And MC Elom is saying, exactly, Paul's name is still Saul. He's never changed. Okay, so I think that
His
is what
name never changed,
was explaining to us. So these are the comments under the post. There's another post by the Aesthetic Eyes, and it says, if you are invited at the last minute, decline. If you are invited at the last minute, decline. Let's see what people are saying in relation to this post. So, Dipanshi says, don't do this. Sometimes one person might have fought for you with their entire family to get you on the invite list. So, if you have been invited at the last minute, understand the other person's situation too and attend. Yes, I agree. Okay, and Akasel says, means they really don't intend to invite you and you are just an option. Okay, Abednego also says, if there's food at the last minute, I will not decline. Okay, the item 13 people. Another post from Papa Ban says, there may be exceptions to this. Sometimes late invitations on it may be a breakthrough. Yes. Anyway, always use your brain to analyze situations first and decide. Jeffrey says, self-respect. Not invited is equal to don't go. Not told is equal to don't ask. Late invite is equal to decline. You were never part of the plan. Okay, Malik says, better late than never. Approve it. Nafisa says, but sometimes it happens the person is late to invite without any bad intention. And lastly, Jarwin is saying this statement can be said from another point of view.
So now you see the way we do our work here on this media, sometimes we call people very late and 𝗟𝗏𝗍𝗍, and you need to call people very late to respond to matters of this kind. Come on, say last minute you can just call. So sometimes last minute is important.
And when the Sofo is having a birthday party and the Sofo invites me late, me, I'll go.
Birthday party. Because birthday Gramindi be done with the birthday party.
So next year we celebrate it.
Never done it before ever.
Your name Mrs. Adzika. Birthday party.
All right, so Rachel will give us some synopsis on the video of the day.
Okay, so the video of the day. Today is Monday, and you know, usually people don't like going to work on Monday, and we have something in relation to that. People say it's Misery Monday. We have the video of the day in relation to that. Let's watch this.
Misery Monday. I am a child. I don't want to work. I don't want to work. I don't want to work. I don't want to work.
Oh, Monday. I don't want to work. Forget it.
Misery Monday. I am a child. I don't want to work. I don't want to work. I don't want to work. I don't want to work.
You work. You definitely work.
Like when you wake up in the morning and you realize that it's a Monday.
Lazy spirit of laziness, we cast.
Amen.
All right, so to a brighter side of life, birthday.
Okay.
All right, to my dear sister, Reverend Rachel Staff. She's a second minister in the Kwashiman Circuit. May you never run out of oil, and this is for you in all your ministry. Please, we have removed the name Emmanuel from there and we are putting your software 𝗟𝗏𝗘 Vincent, and Miss
and the entire crew.
Yes.
And Miss Rachel and the entire crew. We are removing Iman from there. But that is a message from Iman to you, sister, wherever you are. God bless you and increase more in the wire. Well, now we want to say goodbye to our sponsors.
𝗟𝗏𝗘 Insurance is here with us. 𝗟𝗏𝗘 has a wide range of insurance policies. Walk into any of their offices today. If you're in Accra, remember, it's just in Osu behind the Presbyterian Church. Walk in to speak to an agent who will walk you through the different insurance policies and make sure you sign on to one.
All right, to Methodist University, said Idebia Kanono, Eduche Mukra, Mepacho School of Choice, and the Ebohunde from Methodist University. We are Methodist near me, so forms now. I will turn the chokra, Mepacho Tumrika admission is on.
So then, if you need good food prepared under good hygienic condition with good taste, then KFK Food is the place to go. You can locate them in Tema Community 25 and at the ground floor of the Wesley Towers. They have all rice dishes, they have English breakfast, they have pastries, they have eba, they have gari photo, they have cocoa, anything you can think for, even banchampesi they do have. So
do they have 𝗟𝗏𝗘?
They do.
Yesterday I come all over for 𝗟𝗏𝗘 until I went to Mamubi to get 𝗟𝗏𝗘.
I was about telling you that, why didn't you go to Nima?
And that's why I live.
Hey.
That's
the only place you get it on a Sunday.
Yes, that's where I grew up from.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
So from leaving the street, I came back to Mamubi. So I went to my old area and I got 𝗟𝗏𝗘.
This one wasn't kinky.
No, 𝗟𝗏𝗘. My system. My system. All right.
𝗟𝗏𝗘 is here with us. 𝗟𝗏𝗘 is located in Adabraka, inside the Grand House adjacent the Holy Spirit Cathedral. So walk into this office today and get your African print sewn for you. Get your t-shirts, your Lacoste printed, your anniversary clothing, your souvenirs, your badges, everything that has to do with some branding. You can get it from MIPL. So walk into the office today. Do business with them.
Minim se ene ubenwa eduane ewofie. Enti the spice that I'm recommending for you today is Sankofa natural spices. Eye natural senye edin no ekano. Sankofa natural spices. Almost different flavors. They have curry, they have ginger, they have garlic, they have the noodles flavor for your noodles. Enti one thing about Sankofa natural spices ne say no MSG, no monosodium. Enti na wonum say Sankofa natural spices DD.
Me pacha menya sa Miss K to know now beto garlic pa no wetimi atwide eyesikasem sa ne o manyina eyesikasem me pacha bobesia na fedidi ma common de o
why the bichi aka
na no interrupt my promo. Said
oh yeah.
Now want to be so kasa with the anointing there to do an empacho disika. It's a cobo besia. School fees also abo kwala nebi. Cobo besia ko also pe school fees no ni bi omo de be ma kama. E multi credit for and I yebo omo dewri. Me pacho yedama se makan ye ho. Anopamu nyina fiti amache moni anwen ababesi samre ye de ye yasomafo na ye se anoma echere wodua so a wogebo ti ye mpese ye bebo ye ebuo nti no ye sra mo kwan na ye fi mu TV so amamo na ya to aso me de from yourself for Adzika me ne
listener and Rachel Mercy ahen.
All right. Bye. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sasa ya banka mufimu Yes, I was a brother.